James Show, News Talk 820 93.3 FM, WBAP. I am your host, James Parker. Legal analyst for the show, Jeremy Rosenthal from TexasDefenseFirm.com, coming on the show. Welcome back, sir.
How are you, James?
I'm doing pretty good. First question for you. This guy that shot Charlie Kirk, is he going to get the death penalty?
That's the fight. It really is. It is. I don't think that I didn't do it or it wasn't me. I don't think any of that's going to work here. I think guilt innocence is kind of a foregone conclusion, not for the least of which reasons that law enforcement has poured so many resources into this. It is hard, as it should be, to get the death penalty against anybody. You have to prove that he is a future danger. He's allowed to bring a lot of mitigation evidence. There's instances such as when the Parkland shooter, he didn't get the death penalty. So it's not necessarily a foregone conclusion. It's doable, especially when there's so much evidence of premeditation, where somebody has had not one, not two, but 20 chances to not go through with the act that they're going to do. But that's where the fight is here.
Yeah, the Parkland guy didn't get the death penalty? What is that, Nicholas Cruz or something?
Right, yeah. So and look, I'm a criminal lawyer, and I've had the honor and privilege of getting to work with a lot of really good capital defenders. And they sometimes victory in a case is keeping your client from getting executed. And the name of the game there is mitigation and showing the client's full story. But when you have a situation like this, where so many other people were endangered, where you had a motive of I just don't like the guy, or maybe worse, maybe he's trying to incite some other type of political retribution or start some other kind of movement where more people get hurt or killed. Like I said, it's hard to get the death penalty on somebody, and they're going to put up quite a fight on it. But that's where the battleground is here, because again, look, the guy's admitted it. He's admitted it online. He admitted it to his parents. He admitted it over text. If that wasn't enough, the FBI, from what I've read, they've actually got technology that can measure his arm in relation to the rooftop where he left an imprint. So I think they got the right guy.
Sure. Well, I mean, if those Discord messages are accurate, then yeah, he admitted to it. So how much does the situation change? We're talking to Jeremy Rosenthal from TexasDefenseFirm.com, new people. How much does the situation change because this happened in Utah? They're seen as more of a hard-nosed state when it comes to crime.
Maybe. It's going to be hard to get him a jury. I don't know how big that community is. My guess is that they'll have to move it probably somewhere more populated like Salt Lake. The feds, from what I can tell, what I'm waiting to see is whether or not the FBI or the Department of Justice, the U.S. attorneys, I'm waiting to see whether or not they get involved here. So far, they've been kind of silent. They've obviously used a lot of their law enforcement personnel and in solving the case, but you have to kind of look at Luigi Mangione's case because there's just a lot of legal parallels there. Luigi Mangione, there was a lot of interstate travel. You don't seem to have that here. It all seems to be done in Utah.
True.
You also, in Mangione's case, you had a manifesto where he was not just taking on Brian Thompson, but the entire insurance industry. And I think that's what the FBI is going to look for here. And that's what's going to determine whether or not the feds get involved, in my view. That's kind of how I see it. But the Department of Justice, Pam Bondi, they've condemned this, obviously, but they've not really talked directly about whether or not they're going to be bringing charges.
All right, Jeremy Rosenthal, what's next for this guy? Are we going to get one of those step-by-step cases where we get all the details and because I remember the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case, we got audio, and during some of these other cases like Ghislaine Maxwell, we got absolutely nothing. Are we going to have access to this trial?
It's really going to depend on the judge. In Idaho, for the Brian Kohberger case, they put a gag on it, and everybody did a really good job of obeying it and not really releasing anything, and we didn't learn anything until really the thing was over. So it really just kind of depends on this judge's temperature. It was kind of odd at the hearing yesterday. They talk about how they're not going to put out any information, and they're going to keep a lid on it because they want him to have a fair trial. And oh, by the way, here's all the text messages where he confessed. So we'll see what they want us to see, right? But I think we're going to learn. I think it'll be a slow burn. I think we're going to learn more as it goes on.
All right, there he is, Jeremy Rosenthal, TexasDefenseFirm.com. Appreciate you sharing your legal expertise on the James Show yet again, sir.
All right, have a great day.